Hello, people, and welcome to War Thunder Realistic Battles aboard Pokrushkin's P-39N. Yes, I'm actually playing realistic again. It's been a long time. So anyway, as you can see back there, I'm squatted up with Fury Scout of AODE. And he's currently flying a completely stock LA-5F, and he's not going to have a very good game today. But anyway, we are on, what is this map? Alternate History Berlin against the Americans and British, and, well, we're flying a P-39, so we're flying an American plane. And I believe we are, I think this is an up tier. Yeah. Like a 4.0 game. And the BR of the P-39, Pokrushkin's P-39, is 3.0 in realistic, 3.3 in arcade. And, yeah. In fact, I think the entire time I was flying this plane, I was basically the lowest tier aircraft in the match. At least for my team. Anyway, so starting off this match, climb up to altitude. The P-39 is Pokrushkin's P-39 in particular, it has a very, very good rate of climb. Not only that, but the energy retention is very good, and also it has basically no problems with overheating at all. Combine that with its, even in realistic, Spitfire-like capabilities in the maneuvering fight, and the fact that the 37mm has been buffed, and the 50 caliber Brownings have also been buffed, makes this thing one of the most dangerous aircraft you can face while flying the British and Americans. It is more maneuverable than the P-39N, it is faster than the P-39N, it has a higher rate of climb than the P-39N, and it has more energy retention than the P-39N, and even the Q. This thing completely outclasses every single Airacobra variant in the game, in every category, except for armament. And to be entirely honest, the 7.62s are very poor already, so to be entirely honest, this thing is totally superior to any P-39 in the game. And it's a very, very rare aircraft, which is a good thing for most pilots. Pokrushkin's P-39, I'm not entirely sure how you were able to get it originally. However, a couple of months ago, Gaijin put it on sale for about 1,600 gold, and that's how I picked it up. Another bit of interesting trivia is that I actually managed to get Mark of Distinction on this aircraft the very first day that I bought it. I loved it that much. So here's our first target up here. It's an F4U Corsair. It's an F4U-1A. And obviously he thought that this was a P-39K, or a P-39N, because of what he's about to do. Now, the P-39N can be outmaneuvered by a Corsair, if the Corsair pilot manages to get the P-39 to drop enough energy. However, Pokrushkin's P-39 is different. It has better energy retention. In fact, in this turn, I'm actually gaining speed with flaps. It has better energy retention, and it's more maneuverable than the P-39N in the American tree, and the 39K. So this was a very inexperienced Corsair pilot. He obviously had never seen this aircraft before and probably was very surprised at its capabilities. 37mm goes straight into the wing, right into the wing root, and shears it off in one hit. Our next target is a P-61, Black Widow. These things are very dangerous to approach from behind with that 50 caliber turret. They'll come in low and fast. 50 caliber is obviously interested in something else at the moment. Shear the tail clean off and take no damage in return. Now, one of the main problems with the P-39, the P-39 series and the P-63 series overall, actually, is that the 37mm has a very poor muzzle velocity, as I highlighted in the P-39K video that I did, I think yesterday. And the fact that it really is a flying fuel canister. And also the 37mm has a very poor muzzle velocity. Not a very poor, a very poor rate of fire and a very poor muzzle velocity. So, at the moment there are, I think, 3 aircraft left on the enemy team. Yep, 3 aircraft, and the aircraft on the enemy team is a P-38, a A-36, and I cannot remember for the life of me what the other one was. I think it was a Spitfire. Either that or a P-51. So anyway, getting back to altitude, I'm kind of waiting to see if I can intercept the A-36 as he's coming off of the runway. He had gone back for an RTB while I was engaged with the Corsair and the P-61, and I'm just kind of loitering around the airfield to wait for him to come out. Although he's not going to, he is currently spiral climbing around his airbase, getting altitude. Or he is about to start doing that. He's just gotten wheels up. Anyway, speed this up a little bit. And there he is. And he's about to start spiral climbing around his airbase. I don't want to get too close to the to his airfield, because flak is obviously the most accurate and most dangerous thing in World War II. Gaijin. And there he goes. So I'm going to just leave him alone for now. And yep, there we go. It's P-51. So the P-38 is giving our guys down on the ground a little bit of some grief and some trouble, as well as that P-51 is at altitude, so I need to get back over there and give them some assistance. Currently, the P-51 has an altitude advantage on every single aircraft on our team, with the exception of myself, and the P-38 also has an energy advantage on all of our aircraft. However, the P-51 is about to blow it by getting into a maneuvering fight with a P-39 and an LA-5 at low altitude. The P-38, by contrast, is currently trying to chase after our LA-5s. And the P-51 was a pretty stupid pilot, if I'm going to be entirely honest. P-38 booms through on one of our LA-5s, P-51 right up ahead. He sees me and immediately brakes. That blows all of his energy before he can get back to altitude, and he goes head on with an LA-5 and gets himself killed. Yeah, no he didn't. Nope, I got him. Is that a P-38 down there? is head on with an LA-5 and miraculously manages to escape with his life. P-39K rams the P-38, and P-38 kills the P-39 as well, and there's the A-36. Now, I still have quite a bit of energy left in even through all of those maneuvers. This A-36 does have an energy advantage over me, although he doesn't have one by much, and he is about to actually blow it. A-36 tries to go head-on, I ain't having any of that. Another problem with the P-39 is that it doesn't have a very good roll rate, and on top of that, when you're trying to use the rudder and the, when you're trying to use the elevator and the ailerons at the same time, like the aileron keybinds and the mouse elevator, the P-39 locks up, which is a bit of a problem, and I was not expecting the A-36 pilot to fall in on me like that. And we get into a maneuvering fight. Now the A-36, and he totally did not anticipate me pulling up like that. The A-36, there's no way in hell he can win in this situation. And that was my only spark today, by the way. Well, one of two, rather. And there goes his wing for my fourth and final kill. So, that isn't actually going to be the only match that I have for you today. I actually have 3. So how about we move on to the next one. So here we are with match number 2, and this is in the American P-39N. The P-39N0 this is the American one. And squatted up with Trix in his Spitfire 2B and Kaiser in his P-39N. Kaiser unfortunately doesn't have any Russian aircraft, although the capitalist trader that he is, needs to grind out some of his Russian aircraft. So anyway, this was actually the 3rd or 4th match that the 3 of us played in Americans at this tier, and this was pretty much the best one that we managed to get. The first match that we got was against the Japanese, and it was just terrible. We got our asses handed to us on a plate. And I think I don't even think I managed to get a kill in that match, mainly because I couldn't get the 37mm on target. Everything just kept on missing. But hey, these aircraft are pretty cheap, so it wasn't like I was too upset with that. And here's our first target. It's a P-47. It's a German P-47. Going head-on with a Spitfire, and surprisingly the Spitfire survives. Dive in for the P-47, and I spot an HE-111. Now Trix... now Kaiser, I don't know exactly what he's doing at the moment, but Trix is here with me. And he's diving after the Spitfire, or diving after the P-47. I say, alright, I'm going to go after the 111 then. So Trix stays on the P-47, I move to take out the 111H. 37mm straight to the wing root, take the wing off. P-47 tries to get a shot in, get a little bit of a clip in, but nothing major. Trix follows the P-47 through his turn. And P-47 goes down. So, that was short life of a P-47 and an HE-111 pilot. And, yeah. Now, Kaiser has flown pretty far off in towards the middle of the map, and has run into a couple of Italian and German fighters at high altitude, and is deciding to bug out of the area. By the way, that 205 up there is a Series 3. That is the 20mm equipped MC205. And I believe the 202 was an EC. But anyway, not really willing to go and kill myself at high altitude with a couple of Italian and German fighters. Spot a couple of much better targets over here towards our pillboxes and tanks in the form of an SM-79, an MC-205, and a HS-129. And the 205, by the way, is a 205 Series 1. And that's a dead SM-79. He just doesn't know it yet. Take the lead. A little bit poor on the shots, but get the 37mm in and take the tail section off. HS-129 shot down Kaiser. Kaiser went head-on with the HS-129 and promptly got shot down for his efforts. Never go head-on with an HS-129, please. It's just stupid. So, head-on, or not really head-on, but rather coming from the side, shoot the pilot out of his cockpit. Kill number 3. Got a Series 1 MC-205. Currently locked in a dogfight with another P-39 and a Beaufighter. Trying to get the 37mm in, but only the 50 cals hit, and the 7.62s miss as well. Series 1 shoots down the P-39. Beaufighter takes a crack but misses. There's another 205 incoming. I think my 37mm is actually out of ammunition here. 205 goes into a dive, and that's what I meant by the ailerons and the elevator lock when you try to use them at the same time with the keybinds. 205 goes up into a loop and stalls himself out. Tries to get a shot on me, but doesn't. The other 205 opens fire and doesn't kill me. And friendly comes in and takes him out. That 205 down there is on the tail of the Beaufighter. Friendly P-39 comes in and takes out the 205. And, well, from this point, I'm actually just going to go back, get a repair and a rearm, and head back into the match. And this is where I make one hell of a fuck-up, because I actually forgot to account for this thing's machine guns when coming in for landing, and, well, it was a very unfortunate landing, to say the least. It's just that was pretty bad, and for some reason the Beaufighter decided to shoot at me for whatever reason. So anyway, getting a repair. I was able to repair this plane, so they were able to patch the holes in my plane and glue the wing back on. So anyway, back in the air and going to find new targets. And there is actually only 2 aircraft left on the enemy team. There is an SM-79 and an HE-111. There's the HE-111. Trix moves to engage, as well as the rest of our team. There is currently a Beaufighter, a Corsair, and a Ki-61, along with myself, coming after this HE-111 pilot. Take the lead. Pretty poor aim at first, but then destroy the elevator, set him on fire, and kill the pilot. And by the way, that Beaufighter is actually trying to team kill me. Apparently I pissed him off in this match for some odd reason. Now, a P-39 is always, of course, going to outmaneuver a Beaufighter, and no, I don't actually team kill the guy. In fact, I actually jammed my 37mm while I was shooting at the HE-111. So anyway, that's the second match, and on to the third and final one. So here's the third and final match, and I was only squatted up with Trix in this match. This was actually before Kaiser came along. Trix over there in his LA-5 to see which is better, the P-39K or the LA-5 in realistic, and Well, at the end of this match, he wanted to get back in his 39. He didn't really... He liked the cooling efficiency of the LA5's radial engine, but he didn't like the lack of maneuverability that the LA5 had over the 39K. So, yeah, that was a... He liked the climb rate of the LA5 as well, but... Yeah, he didn't like the lack of maneuverability. So anyway, this is against the Japanese on Khalkhin Gol, and this was one hell of a match. So, the 4 aircraft that we're going to encounter today in this match are a Zero, an A6M3, an A6M30, a Ki-61, and a pair of Corsairs. Obviously these are the Japanese premium Corsairs, so they're F4U1As. And the Ki-61 was a 1 Otsu, the one with the 450 caliber machine guns. And the A6M3 was the clipped wing variant of the A6M3. So the first of the 3 A6M3 Zeros. And well, this is going to be a very tense match towards the very end. However, at the beginning, it's kind of just like, oh great, we're going up against the Japanese, yay! Well, sit back and hope for the best, really, was all that we were really saying. So, there's a Zero over there. Here, 45s, a bunch of other aircraft that I don't really care about. And there's the Ki-61. See the 2 Corsairs over there in the distance. One of them dropped off radar, but don't worry, we'll see him later. I think there was actually 3 Corsairs in this match. I don't remember off the top of my head, but anyway. So, Ki-61 has made himself a target, so both me and Trix go and dive on him. The Zero is heading this direction. Kill the engine to keep myself from overshooting, but it doesn't really make much of a difference. This thing pushed out past 400 miles an hour anyway. I can't deploy my flaps because they'll immediately break off. Trix comes in, tries to take a shot. I take a hit from the Ki-61, and I discover to my horror that I cannot outmaneuver that thing. So, point the nose at the ground and dive away. If I can't outmaneuver it, I can most certainly outrun it. So, punch way out past 400 miles an hour, get close to 500. By the way, this thing did not even redline through that dive. And there's no way in hell that Ki-61 is going to catch me. Currently, Trix is engaged in a dogfight with that Zero up at high altitude, and I'm running the fuck away. I-16 sent that Ki-100 into a spin, and by the way, we're going to see that I-16 later. And the Ki-100 hits the ground. So, there's those 2 Corsairs we saw earlier in the match. Trix has both of the Corsairs dive in on him. I have another Corsair dive in on me. There's the Zero. Engage with the I-16. I take a pop at the Zero. Miss. Zero heavily engaged with the I-16. Okay, that's weird. Okay, so it has the sound from the Zero pilot for whatever reason. Okay. Anyway. Ki-61. Take a pop at him, but miss. You know, like, I got a few hits, but nothing critical. Zero attempts to fall in on my tail. KI-61 sends it into the ground and I get the kill. Corsair comes in, dives in on the Yak-1. Zero comes through as well. Avoid the Zero. And Trix is actually over there engaged in trying to chase down one of the Corsairs. And the Zero and the Corsair are currently trying to chase me down. However, they are going to break off and go after that IL-2 behind me. And there goes the Zero. And there goes the Corsair. So, Trix is yelling for help with this Corsair, so seeing that these two guys have broken off, I go to provide assistance. Corsair attempts to go head on. I ain't gonna have none of that. Obviously. I mean, it's a Corsair for Christ's sake. Jink and dodge. Tries to get a shot in, but it's never gonna hit at that range. Never gonna hit at that angle. And the Zero has turned back around. I was going to attempt to turn and go get a rearm and a reload, but seeing how this Zero is here and Trix is still combat effective, I cannot turn away. I have to stay here and get into this dogfight. Zero thinks he's clever, thinks I'm going to fall into a turn fight. I'm never going to fall for that. Trix breaks off of this chase with the Corsair and goes on to a dive on the Zero. Zero immediately dodges out of the way. I break and turn back around for the Zero. The Corsair has turned around, by the way. Both Corsairs have turned around to re-engage. Zero thinks he's safe. Shoot the wingtip and the aileron straight off of the Zero. Boom through. One of those Corsairs has gained altitude, and the second Corsair is still engaged with the IL-2. However, he is moving back in this direction. First Corsair tries to make a boom on me and misses. The Zero is currently trying to RTB with a damaged wingtip and probably low on ammunition and on fuel at this point. He's desperately trying to maneuver. His aircraft goes into a uncontrolled spin there, and there's no way he's going to get out of this alive. Shoot the tail and the other wing off. Kill number 2. Honestly, by the looks of that, it looked like he had maybe taken engine damage as well. So, those two Corsairs have come back. The first Corsair is engaged with Trix and is about to kill him. Trix made a very, very big mistake going into a stall climb with a Corsair at a much higher energy state and got himself killed for his efforts. The second Corsair is moving in on my position and has gained visual lock on me. The first Corsair is currently still in the clouds. The only reason why he is spotted is because of Trix. And that I-16 that you can see off in the distance is actually heading back in this direction. He has gotten a rearm and a repair and a refuel, and he is currently gaining altitude to try to get back in this direction. First Corsair dives out of the clouds to try to make a boom on me. He misses. I try to pull a shot in on him, but I miss. Wary that the second Corsair is about to engage, I point the nose back down at the ground and move to get underneath the second Corsair. I'm not going to turn back on that first one. It'll open me up for an attack. First Corsair dives. Tries to go head on. I'm not going to do that. Not with a Corsair. Roll over, go into a split S. Use the flaps to help myself pull out of the dive. First Corsair comes to make a head on. I'm not going to do that either. Second Corsair dives in. The Ishak is coming in and he is approaching fast. Only about 5 clicks out, 4 clicks in closing. And these Corsairs have turned back around. Also, I should probably mention, these are the last 2 aircraft on the enemy team. First Corsair goes head on, dive out of the way, go into a split S. I immediately actually end up avoiding the second Corsair as well, doing that, completely by accident of course. Second Corsair pulls onto my tail. I ignore him and I go after his buddy. The I-16 goes after the first Corsair. And I could have gotten myself killed here. Oh, there goes the front landing wheel, and he's also busted both my oil and my water coolers. However, that is all that he has managed to do. He did not manage to hit my fuel tank. So, pull into a vertical. I-16 makes a boom through. Misses with every shot. Corsair pulls down, goes into a split S. I follow. I-16 makes a boom. Corsair pulls vertical again and gets himself killed for his efforts. And actually, I ran out of 37mm ammunition there, and what got the kill was the 50 calibers. So, there you go. The Pokryshkin's P-39 in a dogfight with 2 Corsairs and managing to survive. Well, at a much lower energy state. So, yeah, there you go. All of those of you who complain about being in an energy trap or something like that, yeah, you definitely can get out of it. You just have to be smart enough. And maybe have some backup arrive at the right time, too. And I'm not entirely sure, but I do think that I-16 did play a little bit of a part. I think that he kind of made the Corsairs panic a little bit. So anyway, 2 matches in the Pokryshkin's P-39, showing exactly why you never underestimate this thing, and 1 match in the American P-39, showing why I think I will never fly it again. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I'm gonna go fly this thing some more.